Hi, it's your $2 Tuesday movie critic here, once again, talking about the nominations for the 2022 movies that will be promoted on the 2023 Oscars. This time I'm going to be going over Best Movie in Cinematography. And there were a lot of good choices. We have again 5 movies, and the nominees. First nominee is All Quiet on the Western Front. There was really nothing new in the cinematography of most war movies. The dull colors and backgrounds, the long view to show the multitudes of dead carcass, the shots of artillery exploding in the air. Of course, there's showing the despair and loss on the front lines compared to the privilege and ease of the command in the rear. There are bits of sunlight and glimmers of horizons from afar. The stark blueness in Paul's eyes in the final scenes is so very sad. But they're nothing new. So it would not be my choice for winner. So let's go to the next movie, which is Empire of Light. I have to admit, this movie was not what I expected it to be. It takes place in the 80s in England. The cast works at the Empire Cinema. Most of the film takes place at the theater. Honestly, there is nothing special about the cinematography of this movie. Um, there is comparative lighting. There are scenes on the outside too to show, the scenery and everything like that. Horizons, sunlight, sunsets, moonlight. They're not particularly scenic though. I believe the real contenders for this category are Elvis and Bardo, which I haven't talked about yet, but I'm about to. Let's start with Elvis. The way the scenes were shifting from one place to another or one character to another was completely seamless. I know that you might think that may be about editing, but it's also about cinematography in this case because it sometimes it could show flaws, sometimes it could show flawlessness or add even a bit more energy to the movie. In this case, it did the latter. It also matched so well together. There were a lot of scenery shots. The movie was all about movements and meaning, whether it was fast or in slow motion. So, in that part, the different speeds, the different angles of the same scene, the cinematography was excellent, I have to say. Um, and then there's Tar. Um, the cinematography in this film is very simple, almost monolithic. The settings were repetitive with subtle changes. The goal seemed to be to make the scenery fade in the background, which is mainly what it did. There wasn't a lot of lighting except what was needed to make the scenes visible. There was no vibrancy in it. Yeah, there was nothing to sing about or to say this should be a winner because it should not, in my opinion. Then, last but not least, Bardo, and the entire name is Bardo: False Chronicle of a Handful of Truths. Now, I have to say, I still don't know what that means. The I don't know what the title means. I think they just were like the Banshees of Inisherin, where in the movie he explains that the title of the song that the main character is writing on, or the one of the supporting characters is writing on. In this case, Column is writing on, and Column calls the title of the song at the end. He calls it the Banshees of Inisherin. Of course, they all live on the island of Inisherin, and the Banshees, he says, is just a clever way to make the song noticeable to people, a catchy title. This is my take on the cinematography for Bardo, the chronicles, the chronicle rather of a handful of truths. Okay, so the cinematography was so interesting. It was meant to be garish, I believe, at some points. Also, the fact that the scenes were not shown in chronological order, but in a more meaningful full order. So even when it's not shown in a chronological order, like I said, a meaningful order, but it goes back, so you understand the meaning. You will have to go back yourself to see. You say, "Hey, didn't I see that scene before?" But yeah, but now I know more about what it was. So really cool. The scenes with baby Mateo, the character in the movie, were so cute. And not when I say cute, it's not what you think. When you think baby, cute, but that's not what this was. And sometimes quite disturbing. I could have done without the scene of Silverio, and I apologize if I'm saying the title character's name wrong, because that was his name, Silverio, on the hill of dead, naked people with the dictator. That was one of those scenes that I didn't get why it was there, and I don't believe it was necessary, and it was quite grotesque. But the baby Mateo scenes for me was the kicker for this being the winner of the this category, cinematography. And not because they were baby scenes. You would have to see the movie, and I'm not even going to tell you what it was about. You would have to see the movie. Why I believe these scenes are so not only intricate to the story, but also make the cinematography like that much better. I know some would think it would be better for visual effects, and it could have gone in that category too, because there were a lot of scenes that were optical illusions, but still very real, i.e., the Hill of Dead People. It was real for sure. There was no CGI there. You could tell it was totally real, but at the same time, it you were hoping it was, at least I was hoping it was an illusion. So those are the five nominations. I believe that Bardo is the stands out winner of this. I know some people would think it would be Elvis, and in a certain way, I understand that too. So I guess it would either be Elvis or Bardo. I think that it would mainly be Bardo because some of the things that were seen were so unique, and they were so beautiful in this movie, and so telling and so meaningful. I mean, they weren't just there to be shocking, with the exception of again, I go back to the Hill of Dead People. And even that, I guess if you know enough about the history, because this was a movie, some parts of it were in Mexico, some parts of it were in America, and it was actually about the title character being from both places, so to speak, and feeling like he was an American and a Mexican, and both being his home. And it had a lot to do with that. And also the definite friction that is between both countries, and that he sees and he shows throughout the movie. So it's a great movie. I really enjoyed it. I will watch it again. Okay, so that's all I have for you. Thank you for watching. Let me know what you think at the bottom of the screen, and I will see you next time.